Hey everybody, just a quick update on the Isle of Spiders' Nightmare server. I've actually been quite surprised at the number of people that have gotten on so far. I think I've had about 9 or 10 people get on by now. And most of you that have gotten on have been really great and cooperative. I've had very few problems. However, there was an incident last night that I discovered while going through my server log this morning. Apparently we had a griefing incident last night. And just so you know, I will not tolerate that on this server. There are too many people on here working hard for what they have. And I did download a program so that this will not happen again. And I'm not going to say what program it is. A couple of you know, but those of you who know aren't the ones that I have to worry about. And I had several people get on yesterday. I have the suspect list narrowed down to 4 people, which unfortunately isn't going to help me much. But when I probed through the server log this morning, I looked at some of the conversations going on. I can do that, by the way. I discovered that somebody's garden got griefed last night. Crops were gone everywhere, cobblestone was everywhere, and Herobrine does not do that in the plugin, so I can't blame him. And also last night I noticed that all my crops were gone and stomped down. Thankfully I have a program that restored all the damage that was done to everyone's loot and everyone's crops, and the crops over here were stomped down too, so not positive who did that, but I have a pretty good suspicion. I'm not going to say who. That was Herobrine, by the way. So, if you get on the server, that happens sometimes. Not as frequently as it used to, but that's a normal grief. That's why we don't need griefers on this server, because Herobrine's going to do a good enough job of that by himself. I don't know how I did not jump. And also, late last night, I noticed that there were some valuables missing from my chest. That could have been Herobrine, but I've since turned off his ability to steal. And if I click on this, I can see exactly who accessed the chest. I mean, obviously, I don't have a record for yesterday, but starting right now, it's going to keep records. You know, every single time someone opens a chest, I'll be able to come in and check it. But anyway, as I was saying, I do have the ability to see who last accessed a particular chest, so if somebody's valuables go missing and they report it to me, I can go over and actually click on the chest. And I'm going to use this as an example here. This is a legitimate user, just took out a starter kit, but it shows me exactly what they took out of the chest and what quantity, so I can tell exactly what's missing. And you see how the username comes up, so if you decide to go steal something out of somebody's chest and they report it to me, I can go and look. And I don't want to ban people, but I will if necessary. Because I will not tolerate stealing on this server either. And I'm sure those of you that were stolen from last night are going to appreciate this message. So this is not aimed at those of you who are playing legitimately. I know who you are. And if you did have stuff stolen last night, it should be all back today, because the particular plugin that I downloaded actually restored everything back to its previous state. So one of you is missing a whole bunch of iron blocks, so hopefully if you go look in your chest tomorrow, they'll be back. Let me know if they aren't, and I'll help you out with that, so you know who you are. And all my wheat was actually stomped down last night. It was all grass blocks, and this is all restored now, so if you do decide to come on here and grief, well, for one thing, I'm going to ban you without warning, because I will be able to find out who you are. And for another thing, there's no point in griefing now, because I can just bring all this back with a click of a button, so there's no point. But anyway, on a lighter note here, so far the server's been really fun. We've had lots of Herobrine griefs, lots of zombie apocalypses. Speaking of that, there might be one coming up right now, so. And just to clear things up, there's limited PvP allowed on the server. If you turn to a full vampire and you decide, you want to turn somebody else into a vampire, you are allowed to attack them. Same if you turn to a werewolf in your own wolf form, you can go ahead and attack them too, but just so you know, you can't, just tell me you're a vampire if you're not, because I do have commands to check. So I can pull up a list of who's infected with a werewolf virus, who's actually a vampire, who's just infected with the vampire virus, and so on. So I can check that too. Just so you know, it is allowed. So I think I'm going to end this video for today. That's really all I had to say. So far, most of you have been really great. Keep inviting your friends here. But just so you know, I do have protections in place, so your loot should be safe. So if you notice anything suspicious going on, missing loot or anything, now that Actually, now that Herobrine's not stealing anymore, that that shouldn't be happening anymore, so if you have stuff disappearing out of your chests, or crops disappearing, or damage to your buildings that, aren't creepers, go ahead and just private message me and let me know. Speaking of that, don't blow up. We have enough griefers in this world. We don't need any more. Alright, and I hope to get another episode out soon, either of my single-player world or the server world. I have some footage for a second one filmed now, so hopefully I will see you guys soon. Hope you are having a good night.